What are the 6 ways to evolve a stand in Jojo? The concept of stand evolutions was first introduced in JoJo's Part 3. I'm talking about natural way, which derives from the development potential present within every stand, and this isn't as much of an evolution as it is acquiring new abilities and enhancing existing ones, but I'm still counting it as it transcends the basic abilities of a stand. It measures the possible functions of a stand as well as the utilization of the stand's abilities. An example of such a stand is Star Platinum and how he learned to stop time fighting Dio, or Gold Experience, as it learns how to create human body parts using inorganic matter as a converter to replace lost limbs, or even the world when it had a boost in its time stop. It applies to Star Platinum as well, as it went from freezing time for 2 seconds to 5 seconds. A very select group of people possess the predisposition to evolve their own stands, also without the interference of external factors. Each act of a stand is the result of the metamorphosis of the stand's previous state. Different, more powerful skills are unlocked the farther the stand gets from Act 1. The users of these type of stands are characterized by their weak fighting spirits, but also for their huge potential for spiritual development. The only instances of Act stands are Johnny's Tusk and Koichi's echoes. Koichi had once been pierced by a stand arrow, which awakened a strange, seemingly unmatured stand that manifested itself in the form of an egg. Eventually, the egg hatched, and Echo's Act 1 was born. Echo's Act 1 can write onomatopoeias on any surface or person. The sound related to the onomatopoeia in question will be produced and reverberated in the target's body. When Koichi was being held captive by Yukaku, Echo's Act 1 transformed and entered the second stage of evolution. In Act 2, Echoes can write sound effects on any surface with the tip of its tail. To trigger the activation of the sound effect, Koichi is required to touch it. And finally, when sheer heart attack almost killed Jotaro and Koichi, the transformation that led to Act 3 was conveniently prompt. And what Act 3 does is it multiplies the weight of an object or person. It only affects one thing at a time, and its effect ceases if the target moves more than 5 meters away from the stand. As for Johnny, Tusk Act 1 was brought upon Johnny had contact with the left arm of the Saint's corpse, which allowed Johnny to inlay the spin in his fingernails. All the other acts of Tusk would come as Johnny learned more about spin. Tusk Act 2, for example, was created when Johnny learns the golden rectangle technique, and Act 3 was created when he shoots himself using the golden rectangle, and finally Act 4 is born when Johnny learns the golden spin and uses the infinite rotation. Dio had documented the way he found to reach heaven, in other words, a method of acquiring the ultimate stand. The diary says, "What you need is my stand, the world. What you can find beyond the powers of my stand is where you need to go in order to find heaven." In the ritual, the world is replaced by Dio's bone, in which rests remnants of Dio's soul. What you need is a trustworthy friend. He must be someone capable of controlling his own desires. He must be someone who's not interested in political power, fame, wealth, sexual desires, and must be someone who chooses the will of God before the law of humans. Will I, Dio, be able to meet someone like this one day? What I also need is the lives of more than 36 humans who have sinned. That's because those who have sinned harbor a strong power within. Dio must have come to this conclusion because in part 1 he said that evil individuals became the strongest zombies. There are 14 phrases that one must keep in mind. These are words that are related to religious beliefs, interpreted differently by distinct theologies, like the beetle, which in Egyptian mythology represents the concept of non-existence coming into existence. This is referring to reaching heaven, or the universal reset, for the sake of simplicity. What is most necessary is courage. I must have the courage to destroy my stand momentarily. My stand, as it disintegrates, will absorb the souls of the 36 sinners and will give birth to something utterly new. It will show interest in the 14 comforting words that my trusted friend will utter. My friend will trust me, and I will become his friend. These are the circumstances under which the green baby is conceived, and became one with Whitesnake, meeting the penultimate requirement to Dio's plan. Lastly, I need an appropriate location. North latitude 28 degrees, 24 minutes. West longitude 80 degrees, 36 minutes. Go there and wait for the new moon. That's when heaven will come. The coordinates featured in the diary points precisely to Cape Canaveral. The new moon being mentioned specifically stems from its gravitational influence on the planet due to the moon and the sun being aligned with Earth. Upon following all the instructions in the diary, the one who put forward the effort shall obtain made in heaven, the stand that can control all of the fundamental gravitational forces of the universe, which led to a reset of the observable universe of Jojo. The stand arrows were created from a meteorite in which sheltered a virus that is the sole cause of awakening stand abilities. In any living creature that is impaled by the arrow, stand arrows possess a will of their own and are naturally drawn to whoever is deemed worthy by them. One of the possible outcomes of being pierced a second time is your stand undergoing a transformation. Actually, it is unclear whether for that to happen, you need to have the stand pierced directly or the user, but it seems to be the case when analyzing what happened to Kira in part 4. In his case, Killer Queen only acquired the new power, Bites the Dust, and the appearance of the user changed rather than the stands. Some may think that this didn't actually happen, and will say Kira's hair only got grey because he combed his hair back. What I think is, if that was true, he would have done it as soon as he took Kozaku Kawajiri's body, considering how formal and vain Kira Yoshikage is. Anyways, the arrow considers the strongest desire of the stand user to grant him a get-out-of-jail-free card type of ability, specially designed to overcome the impaled person's biggest hindrances at the time, like Bites the Dust, which automatically explodes anyone who discovers Kozaku is in actuality Kira through the host of the third bomb. Chariot Requiem's soul manipulation and gold experience Requiem's return to 0 are also instances of gaining the perfect powers to overcome their most critical hassles of protecting the arrow and defeating the Avolu. In Steel Ball Run, the Saint's Corpse replaced stand arrows as the MacGuffin that gives stand abilities to characters. Well, parts of it, because if the corpse pieces scattered across the United States is gathered by someone, it will award that person with a stand that holds a divine protection as the signature ability, which is precisely what Ticket to Ride is. Lucy's stand creates a chain reaction of unlikely coincidences from the surroundings to neutralize any assailant by touching them with the Blade of Tears. In regards to Funny Valentine, it evolved his stand to D4C Love Train, which produced a dimensional barrier that rid Valentine of any harm, redirecting attacks in the process. And last but not least, the idea of fusing stands. The idea of having parts of an individual given away in exchange for the ability of another person's stand being incorporated in your own stand set of skills, which cause Soft and Wet and Killer Queen to merge into one stand, and the consequences are that now Soft and Wet's bubbles gained explosive properties that are very reminiscent of Killer Queen's powers. This is possible through the method of having two stand users be buried together near the wall eye. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not saying a person is guaranteed to acquire other stand's abilities, as the exchange selects random parts to be traded. I'm saying it's a possible way to evolve a stand. That's it for today's video guys, I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. With that being said, thanks for watching this video, I'll see you in the next one.